Hello YouTube, this is Attorney Colin Wynn. I wanted to post about a topic that I think is very important for people to know. It deals with immigration law, and it's, I'd say, 5 category of crimes or offenses that can lead to you being deported or otherwise known as removed from the U.S., where you lose your whatever status you have in the U.S. And this obviously doesn't apply to U.S. citizens, but it applies to green card holders, people on visa, tourist visa, student visa, work visa. So these are all things that you need to be aware of. First off, felonies. Felonies are gonna create problems without a doubt. ICE and immigration court is gonna be notified, and they're gonna, ultimately try to remove you from this country. That kind of goes without saying. They're more serious offenses. However, there are lesser offenses that people don't realize can cause, them just as much problems. Possession of drugs, narcotics. There are, let's say crystal meth, heroin. Even if you're not dealing, you just have possession of it, it can be deemed as a deportable offense if convicted. So a lot of people don't think much of it. Sometimes first-time offender, they just take a plea and then they pay some fines and take a class and think they're done. I wish, but that's not the case. And that's a lot of mistakes that a lot of even criminal attorneys make. They don't realize that there are major immigration repercussions for certain crimes. Another one, domestic violence. What is domestic violence? Violence, like say, fighting to your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, daughter and father, anybody in the household that you live with is deemed as domestic violence. It can really affect you in the future if you're convicted of it. A lot of people, like I said, with the other crimes, they just take a plea, and it's a pretty good plea if you're not, a green card holder or a visa holder. If you're a U.S. citizen, it's a pretty good plea. However, if you do plead guilty to it, it can bar you from becoming a U.S. citizen. And if ICE and immigration court finds out about it, they can't put you into deportation proceedings and remove you from the country. So that's definitely call a lawyer when that happens. If you're not a U.S. citizen, call a lawyer when you are charged with domestic violence. It's a very common offense, unfortunately, and typically a misdemeanor. But even misdemeanors like that can create problems for you. Also, 2 misdemeanors in a certain period of time can also trigger deportation proceedings and can cause you to lose your status and ultimately be removed from this country. A lot of people think like, oh, you got a petty drinking and driving, and they got another misdemeanor dealing with, retail theft. They're not a big deal. I just took some classes and paid a fine. One of those, they'll let you slide. 2, you're in trouble. So I would not assume that you're going to be in the clear, because those crimes, although sometimes considered minor relatively, when you have 2 or more, you're going to have some problems with immigration. Lastly, a catch-all provision, crimes of moral turpitude. It is a term of art. Immigration has put together a list of crime of moral turpitude, which drugs actually is an offense, as well as domestic violence, various things that they just list on there and deem as offenses that can get you kicked out of the country, whether they're misdemeanors or felonies. So those are going to be available at the link below, and it's going to list out all the various crimes of moral turpitude. And whenever you fall into that category, make sure you get an attorney. It's not as simple as a criminal matter. It becomes much larger, immigration, and you might be able to do a class or so to get it taken care of for the criminal side, but it can be a lifelong issue for the immigration. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and give us any feedbacks if you like, as well as like this video.